only, but I'm Brazilian from São Luís, Maranhão, and yeah, I'm here to get better on it. And I love this topic. I would be really upset if I couldn't make it because I love to discuss about these topics. Yeah, I'm really interested about that, especially because we um come back, years ago, and I love history, so I love to talk about that. Thank you. How about you, Mariana?
So,
Hello, I'm Mariana. I'm from Casa Branca, São Paulo. I study economics and data science. I have a dog and I like to swim and dance.
thank you, Mariana. So yeah, let's begin. I will ask Breno. He said he likes this topic, so please choose a question so we can discuss
Okay,
about
I
it.
will start with the first one, actually the second one, how technology has changed the way we work. I would say that it changed the mode of production itself, not only the way we work, but it changed the way men interact with work in order to make a life easier for everybody. But I would give an example. For example, today we can issue invoices online or opening a self-employed document to work legally, and you can, be a freelancer and work for, different employers and clients all around the world. And so it's a huge and massive change. Um, doesn't matter if you are working in local or home as homework, no, and home office. But yeah, it's really nice because the employers and the people that has companies, they saw that as positive, so they can, earn more money because, you can choose, for example, employees from countries that they have less, the currency is different, and because the currency, so they can pay less, and for the employee, it's positive because they can earn more, so it's a really huge change in my opinion.
Thank you. So, Mariana, please, what do you think?
I think in the past, we needed to be in the office and work with a lot of papers. And nowadays, we do many tasks in softwares in a unique space. And today we don't need to travel to have a meeting, travel to another city or another country to have a meeting. We just do it in our house by video.
Yeah, exactly. And João, please.
I think that's an interesting question because I think technology changed the way we work, like since the second half of 20th century, like when we start to use computer to work and start to work in front of computer. So after that, I think we stopped stay at like work with manual tasks, like for our popular work, and start to work with the mind, with some more work, like it's more hard thinking. You work more with your mind than with your hands, with your manual work. So I think the most revolution was you don't need to be in one place to generate value for a company or to do your work do your money. You can be whatever you want, and you just need a computer and internet. So that was the biggest change since Industrial Revolution, I think. And I don't know, Industrial Revolution was 18th century, 19th century, I think. I don't know. But that's it. I think changed it like for real, and was a like real big change.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because I used to work in a company, in an electric power company. And I used to work with people that was there for 40 years, 50 years. So it was their first job, and then they were still there. And they used to say that when we started
Wow.
using computer, they used to, how can I say, revezar, so I need to do this task, so it's my time. Yeah, exactly. So it's funny because it's kind of, I can't imagine working like this. I think we that start working with computer, we can imagine. I was thinking what they were using, like how they used to work, how they used to, it's a lot of people. And I used to work in the billing sector area. So it's like how we would build the clients like manually. It's completely no sense. So it's funny to think how it was and how things are nowadays.
Yes,
And
yes.
and okay, so Mariana, please, can you read next one?
Yes. From early civilizations, Middle Ages, Industrial Revolution until nowadays, are we living the biggest changes? In my opinion, yes. I think, as the video said, in the past we depended a lot on animals and family, and there was something with God. And nowadays, I think with technology, we are having a lot of improvements and new things that before we couldn't imagine. So I think now we are living the biggest changes.
Okay, thank you. So please choose Breno or João Pedro to answer.
And what about you, João Pedro?
Okay. I think for sure, yes, is the biggest change because changed a lot the way we relation with each other and the way we work. So if you are working from home, and of course with your computer, and any time you want, like a flexible work and a home office, like you are the main on this revolution. Like you feeling all this change of the work labor type. So like you living the revolution, I think. So that's the biggest change. You can work whatever you want, and in some companies anytime you want. So that's so unusual for our fathers. Even for 10 years ago, that's so nonsense for people like 10 years ago. So it's so recent. So I think is the biggest revolution since industrial and Middle Ages. So that's it. It's insane. And what do you think, Breno?
I would say that if I would rely on the same work that I do, for example, in 10 years late, 10 years, how can I say, back, I would say that I would, lost, my job because I work with social media videos, and you can remember, for example, when Instagram was improving their way of, working with photography. So they changed to photography for videos, and in the beginning was just 15 seconds of video. I remember that, and I started doing videos for companies at the time, like professional videos and everything, because cell phones were good, but it was not, we didn't have, this boom of reels or stories and everything like that. So I would say that if I would stop on that step, I would, have lost my job, because today you can do yourself, if you have a company, you can do your own advertisement. and and of course we still have the professional work uh, for that. We have the videos, professional videos for that, but things has changed a lot. And I like this YouTube channel called Uma História a Mais. I would say that in Portuguese because this is the name of the channel. You can look for it. And I love a video that they mentioned, for example, how work has changed through the years. And for example, they mentioned the lamplighters. So in the late 19th, in the late 19th century, you have this guy who was in charge of uh, lighting, turning on the gas lamps, So you have the gas lamps at the time. For example, in London today, you have just around 1,500 lamps, like that, gas lamps. But in the beginning, the whole city was full of gas lamps. So this function disappeared, So it's really uh, interesting how things are changing, the world. London, you can imagine that London in that time was a dark city, It's a total dark city. If you walk like at night, it's a dark city because you don't have light at all before the gas lamps.
Yeah, I searched this channel. It's pretty interesting. I like this
Yeah, it
kind
is. I
of
love it.
videos.
And the girl that lead the channel, she speaks super cute. You cannot see her, but you can hear her voice. So it's like a teacher from high school. It's you feel like that.
Yeah, so
What's the name
interesting.
of the channel?
Uma história a mais.
And Brenda, you mentioned about the beginning of Instagram, and I remember YouTube, and I just came to my mind how technology is connected. Like we have this amount of videos and Instagram and some others like TikTok and so on, because the storage is not that expensive anymore, and now the internet, like it's more faster. It's faster than the past. So when something like anything in the technology develops and it's get better, another thing also gets better, because I remember I remember that in the past was so expensive. The storage was so expensive. You used to have pen drives, and the companies used to have that big, I forgot the name, this servidor, and now you have everything in the cloud, and it's so cheap. Like I pay Google, and I think I pay R$ 6, per month. So now it's so cheap, and then other technologies can develop as well. So it's interesting to see how everything is connected.
Yeah, it's like a snowball. It's like when something develops, so you have the consequence of it.
Okay, so let's move on. João Pedro, please choose a question.
Okay. Let's follow the order. Question number 4. What's the future of work looks like? That's a great question. Um, I think the companies, mainly the startups and etc., will focus on technology business to scale and automate their and like to generate value more scalable in a scalable way. So I think more technology companies will grow and more programmers and UX and technology fields will grow a lot. Like uh, the jobs in this area. I think. Sorry for the motorcycle.
Mariana, please. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we will have more and more technologies. The things will happen very fast. I reckon that we will have technology that I can't imagine it today. It will be a revolution, and I think the people will want more flexible works, more flexible jobs, and they will value the quality of life more than nowadays.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what you think, guys, but especially the most qualified jobs, I think we won't have that. Like I work for only one company and the whole day full time. I think we're gonna split our time into 2 or 3 companies and work by demand. So I'm going to work in this project and okay, that's it. And I don't know. I think about
like a contractor.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
okay.
I think it's gonna be more common. And Breno, please, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I was trying to think about a different, sorry, about a different answer for that. And I've seen, for example, that globalization has been even more, it's been exploding, right? The globalization is expanding the area, the borders even more, yeah, these days. So I would say that we are going to have a massive work exchange, especially in Europe and in some countries that are, rich countries. For example, I've been in Norway in 2020, and I've seen, and when you think about Norway, for example, you remember Vikings, you remember white people, you remember blonde hairs and everything like that. Or in Europe itself, you have this stereotype, right? But I would say that with the years, stereotype will disappear, because the identity is. I have to be really careful to talk about that, but because I don't want to look like a bad guy, but the aesthetic will disappear. I'm not telling that it's good or bad, it's just a fact. So I would say that in Europe, for example, you're having people coming from other countries like Brazil, Chile, Venezuela, and the Middle East as well, because different countries have different situations. So for example, there are people coming from Syria to Germany because Syria was struggling, economic and politically struggling. So you have this exchange, So I believe that in 500 years, I don't know, but you will have beside of you people from different places, and you cannot more say that, for example, uh, Europe is, stereotyped as people with white skin only, is I think it would be like Brazil, for example, because Brazil you have, different people from all looking stereotype, different looks, that's it.
Yeah, and especially the remote work. I mean, in the past we was not so common to hear people working from Brazil to companies like United States, Canada, Europe. And I think now we are getting used to this, and people from like Americans, Europeans, they are getting used to work with us, and especially Asians. And so I think we are getting used to these exchanges. Okay, so let's move on. Let's see. Mariana, please, can you choose a question?
Yes, the next one. Will your job position exist in 10 years and 20 or 30? I hope yes, because I work with data science, and it said that is the profession of the future. We have billion of data every day, so we will have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I hope so. Sure. What do you think, Breno? How about yours?
Yeah, definitely, because people don't work only, but they rest and they like entertainment a lot. So as I am a videographer, I can just switch the focus on my work to cinema, for example. So I can stop working for companies if they can do their job, I assume that they won't, but if just in case, in the worst case situation, if they do what I do, people will always need to watch movies. So I can start working for no movies. Cinema has changed itself. For example, movies has changed itself. The way they film movies, the way they watch movies. For example, we have the pandemic. So in that pandemic, people start to go to cinema, for example. But what they did, they create this space outside so people can go to the cinema outside, inside of the cars, the open air cinema. So I would say that it will never stop, So yeah, that's it. We are flexible, and the good point of being um, media, work with media, is that we are flexible. And I'm Brazilian, by the way, so I can, I can be flexible and look for another thing to do.
Thank you, Breno. So, João Pedro, please.
Yeah, talking the same way as Breno, I think data is used in every company, in every segment, in everything that we do and use for entertainment, for business, for food, etc. So I think data can change the name of this position. Maybe data engineer and data science can be one thing, analytics engineer, like the names for sure will change, I think. But like doing data and doing automated task and scaling process, I think there's no way that this not exists anymore. Doing data is so important. So I think can change the name, your job routines, but I think we'll stay here for 30 years and so on.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting question. Like, I think a lot of people don't think about it, and especially people working with manual tasks, So I see a lot of people that do manual things and don't think about it. And that company that I mentioned, the electric power company, is kind of going through this process. So they are letting a lot of people go, they are firing a lot of people because they are automating stuff. And those people that I mentioned that they are working there from 30 years, 40 years, they are just letting people go because it's not like it's not that they are not useful anymore, but we can do things faster and, it's.
But that is something that I would like.
Sorry?
That is something that I would like to mention here while you were talking. I was thinking about people that in the past, they thought that they are how can I say that in English? Insubstitutable. Can you guys know how to say that? Unsubstituted.
I remember the Beyonce, replaceable, Beyonce music.
Replaceable. Okay, let's use that. No problem. So people in the past think that their jobs were irreplaceable. So and now they lost their jobs. So we have to be how can I say that? My God, I'm just forgetting everything. Realistic, we have to be realistic and think that something might change in the world that can switch the way people work, as it always has changed during these years. So of course we are having the biggest change, but in 200 years or in 100 years or in 50 years, I don't know, maybe things would be changing as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, let's go to the next one. Breno, please choose a question for us.
Is technology making us? I can change it whatever I want.
Yeah,
okay.
awesome.
I can imagine the 11th question. Could you imagine a workplace without the technology we are using nowadays? How it would be? Yes, I do. You know what? Because here in Canada, for example, we have this lack of jobs that are not related to technology. So we need carpenters, we need paint guys and bakeries, and so those kind of jobs that they always existed in the past. So we can, if I can imagine it, it's just imagine, of course, that because it doesn't happen because we are living in that technology era. But yes, I do believe that people can work with the basic only without technology. And if you stop to think, for example, in a scenario of a post-pandemic and post-apocalyptic situation in the movies, for example, you have that The Walking Dead and The Last of Us for those who likes to play video games. You have these, you cannot see, for example, data science, for example, with all respect, but what you could do if nothing exists anymore? They would need doctors, they would need, people to work in the basic, for example. So I would say that there is no levels. All professions are important, but they are all essential, you know what I mean? And there are some professions that even if because of the other professions would not exist if not because of these professions, the basics. So I respect the basic, and I can't imagine a workplace without technology, of course.
Yeah, good point. Excellent point. I haven't thought about it. What do you think, Mariana?
I agree with Breno. I think we still need the hand jobs, hand works, like mechanic, plumber, firefighters, and we will always have to be there then. I don't think this kind of jobs will disappear, for example.
Yeah, I don't think so either. João?
Yeah, I believe the same way. But the question 11, it's talk about workplace or your country or your life without technology. Workplace
we
is like your
mentioned-
company.
Yeah, we mentioned here workplace, but feel free to tell your thoughts. No worries.
I think my workplace without technology we use nowadays probably would be a medium enterprise, like without any growth that we did this year, because it's a consulting company just in Belo Horizonte, so we will be limited by physical limited without any contact with other companies in other places. So we probably never grow our solutions, our team. So we'll be like the same consultant that you need to go with your car, with your team in some places to listen the problem of the company and do the consultant type. So I think we'll limit my company and probably will be a medium company, medium consultant company.
Mariana, go ahead.
That's it.
Hey, I would like to say something. I was thinking about Elon Musk pursuit of new technology. I love Elon Musk more than Apple, for example. I switched to the focus because he mentioned, for example, that the most valuable thing on earth is battery. I think he mentioned something like that. And I would say that battery would be more important than electricity, because electricity can be shut off, but battery remains. So, for example, if we are working with technology that rely on electricity, and if we have a lack of electricity for a period, if you don't have battery, you will not be able to work. So it's everything is connected, So we need, different tools to keep our job.
Yeah, good point, Mariana. Okay, let's see. I think Mariana, have you? No, I think it was Breno. So Mariana, please choose a question.
Are people prioritizing work-life balance much more than they used to in the past? In my opinion, yes. Last week, I saw a news about young people nowadays. They don't want to high levels jobs, for example, like their parents, because they saw how their parents were exhausted. They didn't have time to live and for family. I think nowadays we want to have a balance, mental health. Me, for example, I want to have time to do sports and to take care of me and my family and spend time with my friends. And I don't want to have, I don't know in English, obviously. young. So I think it's important.
Yeah, so important. Yeah, I think this mindset's kind of changing. I think it's have been changed because I remember my father used to work a lot. And nowadays, I think, I mean, when I started working 10 years ago, I remember, uh, good.
Thank you.
And like 10 years ago, I remember working so much, like 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day was like synonymous of good workers, productivity. And I don't think it's like this anymore. So I think it's changing. What do you think, Breno?
I just lost the point of the question. What question is it?
It's
Number
what's number is? It's number 9.
Are people prioritizing work-life balance more than they used in the past? No, I don't think so. Because we have this. We have to, of course, we have to look into the context, but in Brazil, things are hard, and people do accept any job they, if you are poor, for example, if you are in need of a job, you accept it, and you can live under, some rules that you cannot accept if you were in a better situation in life, for example. So I believe that work-life balance, having this work-life balance is for persons that are in the middle or in the off, not in the in the middle to the top, because they can choose. I'm not telling about money specifically, but knowledge as well. Because if you are smart, if you are good on what you do, you have more chances to choose the work that you want to work, of course. But for the majority of population, when you're talking about Brazil, for example, more than 50%, of course, they just want a job. They just want uh, money and to pay their bills, and the situation is really hard. So I don't want to. I know that sometimes I bring some subjects that makes the meat comes down. I don't want to do that, but it's just because I'm at the same time I'm trying to bring different perspectives so I can use different words and but believe me, I'm a nice guy in person, and I'm not the same when I'm talking in English at all. And yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, no worries. João Pedro, please.
Yeah, you can talk about different segments in this question. I can talk about my situation and my colleague's situation and about the situation that I see in my city, for example. But I will talk what I know more. That is my situation, my colleague's situation. That's like work from home. I think it depends of your team and your company culture, because it's sometimes pretty when you work after your work hour, so you work at night and you say on a daily that you work it until 11 p.m. to resolve a problem. It's pretty when you work more than the normal work time. So sometimes the culture stimulates you to work a lot, and you're not home, so it's not a different environment. It's the same environment that you sleep, that you relax, and you work. So when you fix this in your mind, you probably spend a lot of time working and do your job, because there is no difference between do your job and doing like other thing. It's the same place, like it's the same environment. It's not a company in other address and your home. So I think that's a big problem. But sometimes when your team is like healthy, this work-life balance is like so cool. It's work a lot because you spend less time on traffic, and you spend less money, so you can spend on hobbies. So it's really awesome doing this when it's work. But the competitive way give bad things about it.
Yeah, good point. Like I think it's all about the company that you are working, as you said, because where I work now, we have this work-life balance, but I used to work in a company that wasn't like that. So like 8 in the morning, at 8 a.m., people were sending messages, and so I couldn't do anything in the morning because people were already working, and so right now we have our time to like start working and then to stop working as well. So yeah, I think it depends on the company, because we start working in the morning because everybody's working in the morning. So it's like you do what everybody's doing.
Yes, exactly. That's the point. You do what everybody's doing. So if everybody's competitive, you will be competitive. They're so difficult to escape of the environment you are insert. Understand? I
Yeah,
think you
exactly.
talk the point.
Exactly. So let's go to the last one. Let's see one that is kind of fast, I think. Let's answer number 8. So, Breno, how has technology changed the way we work for worse? Can you think about something?
Yes, definitely. For example, we use tools of communications that sometimes they extrapolate, because we used to use, for example, the email only. We used uh, the email and in the past, few years ago, but today we have WhatsApp, Slack, and all sort of different communication tools that cannot keep you free. So even when you are free, sometimes you got a notification from work, and it's bad. So of course you can enable that in my cell phone, for example. I use these tools, but I decide the time that I want to give attention to it. But for other people, it can be different. Sometimes people can be connected 100% of the time. So yeah, it's a bad thing. And that's how technology changed the world for worse. The way we communicate, we cannot establish a certain time to work, and we extrapolate sometimes. So that's it. How
Yeah,
about you, Maria?
is it the same opinion that I have. So good point. Go ahead, Mike.
I share the same opinion too. I think some people and companies are crossing the line of communication, and they think we have to respond all the time, even after the work time, for example. And it's a bad thing.
João, please.
Beside that, I think you spend your weekend probably or mainly alone. So the solitude is much bigger than working on site on the company. So you don't like laughing a lot. You don't interagir with other people. You don't meet anyone on the weekend. Like you are on your home alone, and that can be solitude for some people. And the lack of socialization can be bad for some person. So I think that's a bad thing. And I don't know what can be worse than work on site. What more can be worse? I think that's it. The socialization topic. That's worse, I think.
And it's volatile too. So, for example, you can lose your job real easy on the internet because
Yes,
it's internet.
yes,
It's never
everything
safe,
is
100% safe.
yeah,
Safety is something that we will always struggle on the internet, I think.
yes, I completely agree. It's like everything's so quick, everything. So your contract is so quick, and your fired can be quick too.
Yes, exactly. So, Leandro and Leonardo, you are back. And que trocadilho.
All time I heard this.
Yesterday, I was in a meeting and other guy just told Leo and Vitor because it's my colleague. It was called Vitor, and Vitor and Leo, yeah, Vitor and Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I said it was not intentional, I just read the names and I thought, oh my God,
Pun intended.
a horrible joke, but it was not intentional. So, guys, how was the conversation? How was it, Leandro?
Yeah, very good. Talked about many technologies in the way becoming data science. Because I don't know, it's the best technology I studied, the Leo worked. The technology changed in the world and changing the kind of produce things or agriculture. We talked about tratores, né? Colheitadeiras, drones, talk about many things. I like it.
Okay, awesome. And it's funny how in each room, the conversation is pretty different. Whenever I ask people, they answer things that we haven't talked about it. So it's funny. Leo, are you working with data science?
Yeah, data analytics. Yeah, more analytics than science because I don't work, for example, with R and Python today, but at my company, it's a marketing agency. And today I work as a project manager, but working also with analytics to our clients. Yeah. And I was talking to them in the other room that we have clients from the agricultural sector who require a lot of analysis for us to understand the problems from the business when we talk about montadoras de tratores, yeah. And so that's very interesting. And today I worked with Tableau, Power BI, SQL, but focus so much on analytics, yeah, more than statistics and other things.
You see, so interesting. I didn't know. I thought it was like, because I remember you saying about, I think it was the smart supermarket. So I thought that was something more related to that, you know?
Yeah. I worked at Ipiranga with supermarkets, convenience store. Yeah, but 3 years ago, now I'm working in an agency.
Okay, awesome. So, okay, guys, so that's it. I sent the YouTube video that we were live and the survey. So if you guys can go over there and rate the meeting and give a suggestion or anything that you want to let me know. Okay. And oh my God, my neighbor is screaming so much. Can you guys hear that? I don't know what's going on over there, but okay, that's it. I really appreciate you guys here and have a good day. Hope to see you the next.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.